Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I'm showing you in just 15 minutes a day how you can increase your health, happiness, while reducing your stress. So I've got my helpers today.
Hi.
Yay! And today we're just going to show you how to put together an extremely simple chili recipe. And the reason that I love this recipe so much is that it utilizes a ton of staple items that you probably already have in your pantry, so you can whip this up in less than 15 minutes of hands-on time and batch cook. Don't forget to batch cook. Do this in double, triple the recipe. Chili is great for freezing, and again, it's so versatile. We can talk about some ways that you can incorporate different flavors and different vegetables into it, but I'm going to show you my basic one right now. So I'm going to start with a stock pot, and I am going to turn up my heat to like a medium high. And real quick, I'm going to cut up. Okay, you're going to need to move from this area real quick.
Mom, I wanna peel this.
Okay, give it to me, and I'll have you peel it after I take the skin off. Real quick, I'm going to chop up 3 cloves of garlic and 1 small or medium onion. Okay, you want to take all the skin off. You got to take all the skin off if you're going to help me.
I wanna do it.
So while she's doing that, I'm going to just quickly chop this onion. And I'm just using, a yellow onion. I use them all. You can really use any one that you like. You want to peel it? Sure. Hang on, let me.
Mom, look, it's
Oh my gosh, that's so silly. Here, you peel this one for me. Do you need a little knife? Maybe. And we actually eat chili year round. I know traditionally it's, used more in the cooler months, but turn up the AC, Can you cough catcher when you're coughing in
I
front of
love
her?
the smell of onion. I'm weird like that.
All right.
Oh,
so
look, I did it.
Half's chopped. How are we doing on that one?
Good.
Here. That's fine. That's good. Bless you. Jeez Louise.
I always sneeze all the time.
All the time. Did you get all the skin off my garlic for me? Yeah? You sure? Okay. All right, so my onion is diced. Elena, do you want to add just like a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil into our pan? Over here.
Oh, I did it, Mom.
You did it? About a tablespoon or 2. You can just eyeball it, honey. Just drizzle
See,
it.
I did 2 of these.
Thank you
Or
very
3
much.
of them.
Perfect. So now I'm going to dice up this garlic right next to my onion. If you have a garlic press, it's a great handy little tool that also doesn't make your your eyes watering from the onion. It just hit me too. Woo, it just hit me. Yeah, the garlic press is really handy because it minces it really well, and it also keeps your hands from smelling like garlic for the next 2 days. Woo! It got you? Are you crying because of the onion?
No, it just hurts my eyes. Mom, in a second.
Let me see. I'm sure it's fine. All right, so my pot should be heated up for the most part. Yeah, that's good. I'm just going to add in the onion and the garlic. And Elena, do you want to stir it?
Hey, guys!
Little brown piece of onion got in there. So while she's stirring that, we're going to saute it just for a few minutes until the onion starts to get a little bit translucent.
Mom,
We just want those flavors to kind of fuse for a few minutes before we add in our canned goods.
Mom, the onion is a little sticky. It hit me.
And actually, I need to backtrack because my original recipe was vegetarian, so there was no meat, but this time I'm going to add in 1 pound of organic ground turkey. So after that's sauteed for just a couple minutes, then I'm going to go ahead and add in my turkey meat and brown that. But the smell The smell of garlic and onion sauteing together in the pan. Oof,
It's awesome, but it hurts.
All right, so keep stirring that we'll give it just another minute or two. And so while I'm waiting for that, I'm just going to open up these cans.
Can I help?
Yeah, you can help, honey. But not with the cans, because these can be really sharp. With the beans and the corn, and I'll tell you what I'm adding here in just a second, I definitely want to drain them. The tomatoes that I'm going to use, you want to keep the juices and add all the juices together.
It's getting to my nose.
All right, so let's go ahead and add in the turkey. And then you're going to break that up really good.
Black beans. And those are wax.
So for the canned goods, I like to add a few different kinds of beans. You can stick with one bean if you like. And I know traditionally with chili, it's the kidney bean, but I kind of prefer a few different ones.
I'm gonna take a break.
I actually like to add in black beans, pinto beans, and I'm also going to use cannellini or white navy beans as well. So I'm going to drain those.
Oh, forgot this piece in the oven. Mom, you forgot this little piece.
Oh, thank you. Is it a piece of garlic? Or
Yeah.
onion? So to drain it, I just pour it into a colander.
One more, Mom.
And I'll put them all in there
Mom,
together.
you forgot one
Okay,
more.
honey. Thank you. And let me use my can opener to open the rest. Just happen to have a lot of canned beans on hand, you know, for when the Rona first hit and we were hunkering down for the apocalypse. So I got a lot of canned goods to go through. So this is a perfect recipe if you too have a lot of canned goods. All right, I'm just going to give them a rinse. I like to get all of that liquid off. I know that it tends to not sit well with our digestive system, if you know what I mean. So rinse your beans if that seems to be a problem for you too. All right, so
That's
then
the same problem with me.
that's a problem with you too? All right, I hear you. So now I'm just going to open up the other cans so that they are ready to go. I am going to just put the corn right on top of the beans and let that drain out. A suggestion or a tip whenever you're dealing with canned goods, always try to get low sodium, if not no salt added, whenever you can. And if you cannot afford or cannot find organic, try to always find at least non-GMO. It'll be written right on the label.
My arm hurts.
All right, is that meat browning up pretty good? Now the benefit of the turkey meat is that I don't really drain the fat. I get lean turkey meat, so there's not a lot of fat to drain, and I feel like it just kind of adds a little flavor to the rest of the dish. But if you're working with beef, you will get a lot more fat. And you can go ahead, before adding all of the rest of the ingredients in, you can drain a little bit of that excess fat. So as the meat is browning and as the onions and the garlic are still sauteing, I'm going to add my seasoning in, again to kind of lock in and infuse those flavors early on instead of adding them toward the end. So I'm going to add, and I just want to see, sorry, you know me, I would just do it off the cuff, but I want to give you my actual recipe, and for that I need to look it up. Okay, so we're going to do about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chili powder and about a tablespoon of cumin and a couple teaspoons of salt.
It hurts my eye.
All right, so while you're doing that, move your hand over just a little bit. Obviously, with it being chili, chili powder tends to be the predominant ingredient, but cumin gives it that nice sort of flavor too. It's a very predominant, I don't know, it's a very pungent spice, I think. You get a lot of flavor from it. So about a tablespoon of that. Please don't play with the salt, honey. And I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of some sea salt. Now the benefit is, you know, if you're a little nervous about the amount of salt or the amount of spices, go ahead and go on the conservative end to start with, and then you can always add a little bit more seasoning towards the end. But again, you want to sort of get those flavors marrying together early on in the process. I think it just adds a great depth of flavor. And then, like I said, you can tweak it towards the very end. All right, so now that she's got that just about browned, it looks really good, babe. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add in the 3 cans of beans and then the can of corn. Watch out, sweetheart. And then I'm also gonna add in my 2 cans of diced. You could use pureed. You could even use sauce if you wanted, but I prefer a little bit more texture. I typically use diced, but I've also used pureed. And I've even used whole tomatoes, if that's all you got in your pantry. You can either chop them up or literally just break it up with your hand. So I'm gonna add 2 cans of the diced tomatoes. I love if you can get your hands on a fire roasted diced tomato. That also adds to the flavor. But again, watching the amount of salt, I think the other one that I had here was just a regular, no salt added diced. So it just allows you to control the amount of sodium in your food, and you'll find that canned goods, if you're not paying attention, can have a lot more sodium than you want or that is good for you. So try to control every aspect of the process that you can. All right, and so that's it. We've got all our ingredients in there. I'm going to turn the heat down to like a low medium, sort of like a simmer, and I'm just going to let it hang out. You can let it hang out for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, or if you really want to, you know, let those flavors sort of incorporate and thicken a little bit, you can let it hang out for an hour or 2. Just make sure you're watching that it's on a very low simmer. So to talk about, are we eating salt? Okay. Like I said, control the amount of salt that you're consuming, because apparently my children love it. So some add-ons that I have done before that I've had a lot of success with, sweet potatoes is not one you would often think for chili, but it is so good, especially if you use it with black beans. I've added potatoes to my chili. I've added different vegetables. Play around with it. I know some people, old chili recipes that I found have sugar. If you really want a little bit of that sweetness flavor, you could put a little Worcestershire sauce, or you can add maybe a tablespoon or 2 of coconut sugar, so it's a little bit healthier version of that sweetness. So those are just some tips and suggestions for you. Like I said, let it hang out on simmer. We love to serve this over a baked potato or just eat it by itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, 15 minutes is all you need to change your health, happiness, while decreasing your stress. I'll see you next time.